Am I the asshole for walking out of a restaurant on my girlfriend? Girlfriend and I were having dinner at a restaurant when she got a text from her best friend, who recently gave birth. And she said, oh my God, she got a C-section. She works as a nurse, so she then explained to me the type of incision they make for that and how it'll leave a scar. I then, as a joke, said, quote, at least she'll still be tight down there.
Did OP recently have a baby?
No, they're talking about her friend.
I know, but I just didn't know if that was like a comparison.
Oh yeah. God, that would have been terrible.
Right.
My girlfriend looked confused and then said that was a weird comment to make about her friend. I then said it is a very normal joke to make, and she disagreed. Long story short, there was some back and forth. I asked her to drop it, and she kept trying to talk to me about it. I said to her, quote, you're so insecure. And then she goes, quote, does it make you feel good to call me that? So then I got really frustrated, got up and walked out of the restaurant and drove home. She called me several times. I drove both of us there, but I was so frustrated and just wanted to get home, so I turned my phone off. She showed up at our apartment 30 minutes later and was really pissed, called me an asshole and overreacted, and that she waited in the cold for 20 minutes for an Uber. Am I the asshole for walking out on her and leaving her there for being frustrated? My girlfriend whispered something to me when she thought I was asleep. Because of my job, I always wake up way earlier than my girlfriend, literally 2 hours earlier. So I also have to go to bed way earlier than her to get enough sleep. Yesterday evening, when I went to bed, I couldn't really sleep because I had an important event today at work that made me nervous. So I was still awake when my girlfriend went to bed. I was really hot, yes, even during winter, so I slept without my blanket. I thought about talking to her, but something told me to keep my eyes closed, and I did. She took the blanket and covered me with it. Then she kissed me on the forehead, and then she said it. She whispered it. She said every single word. Some people might say it's too cheesy, but I don't, and I can remember every single word. I love you. I love you so much. I love you more than anything in the world. I love you more than words can express. You make me laugh. You make me happy. You make me feel loved. I've never liked the idea of getting married, but you changed my mind. I want to stay with you forever. I'd rather die than live without you. My life isn't complete if you're not in it.
Wow.
I love you.
Why didn't she say that when he was awake?
Then she kissed my forehead again, and I tried my best not to let her know I was awake, which was hard because I teared up. After that, she went back to her side of the bed and laid down. I only then opened my eyes. I laid there for at least a half an hour until she started snoring and I knew she was asleep. I got up, went to the bathroom, and cried my eyes out.
Why are you guys being secretive?
This was the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. I've never felt so much love in my life. After many years of bullying, my self-confidence was so destroyed that I didn't know if I deserved to be loved, let alone that anyone could love me like that. What made it even more special was the fact that my girlfriend had a bad past and had a lot of trouble showing her feelings on the outside. Even with me, she had a hard time being vulnerable sometimes, and the fact that she said this when she thought I couldn't hear her means that what she said came from her heart.
Oh.
My husband started acting strangely upon my sister's pregnancy announcement. I feel like I'm going crazy here thinking about it. My husband and I were at my parents' house for dinner. All was going well. We were talking, laughing, eating, but as soon as my sister got up from her seat and announced her pregnancy, I noticed at first that my husband got quiet, didn't get up to congratulate her like the rest of us did, and just kept staring at or towards her. I'm not entirely sure. I repeatedly asked if he was okay, and he mumbled about feeling a bit sick. That was strange because he was perfectly fine all day. Literally, moments later, he started throwing up. Like I had no idea what was happening to him. He sat on the bathroom floor near the toilet, just looking down and refusing to let me help him up to wash his face. I kept asking him if he was okay, but no response. My family were worried about him, and I had to take him home. I checked his temp and blood pressure, but all were normal. Still, complete silence on his part. He went to sleep shortly after, and in the early morning at 5:30, I woke up to the sound of him crying in the shower. I rushed in, asking if he was okay, but still no response, other than telling me he needed a minute with himself. I almost lost it, demanding he explain what was going on, and he told me he was just feeling overwhelmed. ... From what? He's not the type who gets stressed out from work or anything of the sort. This is just so strange and out of character of him. He got dressed and left, then refused to even talk about it. I can't help but feel like this reaction was triggered by my sister's pregnancy announcement, since this all started right after she made it. What makes me feel so horrible is the fact that my sister once implied that my husband was her type and hoped to get someone like him.
Yikes.
She has a boyfriend, by the way. This could be nothing, but I can't shake this weird feeling about what happened.
I'm going to have an abortion because my fiance cheated. I'm 29 female and he's 31 male. We've been together for 7 years and engaged for 9 months. To keep a long story short, I found out my fiance was cheating on me when I was 10 weeks pregnant. He has slept with multiple women for what looks like the last 2 years. I never wanted children, but he really wanted to be a father. After the initial shock of finding out he was cheating, I had to think rationally. Could I really let myself be tied down to this man for the rest of my life? Could I trust him to raise a child with me? The answer was no. I gave him the best years of my life, and I wasn't going to give him any more. I knew I'd resent the child. I just wanted to move on and never see him again. I told him I was going to get an abortion. He begged me not to. He apologized and said we could work it out and all he wants is to raise a family together. He swore I'd be a great mom and he'd be a great dad. He said if we didn't work out, he'd be there 100% for the child and that he could be the one with full custody and I could have visitation. I told him that my mind was made up and that he should have thought of that before cheating. He threatened to sue me if I went through with it. My parents weren't on board either. They say they're pro-choice, but they think that me getting an abortion is purely for revenge and not for the right reasons. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I can't have a child with this man. Not after this. I can't do it. I can't even carry the baby and give him full custody. Why should I put my body through this after what he did? Why would I give him what he wants after he's ruined me? It's scheduled for next Friday. There's no doubt in my mind that this is what I should do. No one but my sisters and close friends seem to agree with me. My male friends are against him. My ex-fiance is still begging me not to, and I know he's speaking to a lawyer. The next week isn't going to be easy, but I'll do what I have to. I gave this man the best years of my life. I gave him everything I had and everything I could. For 7 years, I've loved him unconditionally, but I cannot have this child with him.
Am I the asshole for not wanting my fiance's daughter to come on our honeymoon? I, 31 female, and marrying my fiance, 35 male, next year. I am also currently pregnant and due in April. We have been chatting lately about what we might do for our honeymoon. We've decided that we will bring our baby with us as it wouldn't be fair to leave him or her with family for a week or more, and I'm sure we wouldn't want to leave our baby for this long anyway. My fiance has a 9-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. She spends most of her time with her mother, but comes to us for a weekend every fortnight. Myself and his daughter have a good relationship. She's a nice little girl generally, albeit a bit cheeky, but I make a big effort with her and do my best to make her feel welcome and at home when she's with us. Honestly though, I have no major bond with her. I don't feel any real love for her, no matter how much I try. That's just how I feel. Am I the asshole for not wanting my fiance's daughter to come on our honeymoon? But I am always kind, considerate towards her, and would never be mean or nasty to her. She does irritate me though from time to time, and honestly, I am glad on a Sunday evening when she's going back home to her mother's. My fiance now wants to bring his daughter on our honeymoon also, seeing as we will be bringing our baby. He doesn't want her to feel left out. I do understand where he's coming from, but I really don't want her to come. I know I won't enjoy the honeymoon half as much if she's there. She's not my daughter, and I just don't feel fully comfortable when she's around. I wouldn't be able to relax in the same way. We've had an argument about it now, and he can't understand where I am coming from. He thinks that bringing the baby and bringing his daughter is the same thing and doesn't understand why I don't want her to come. I feel like I may come across as the asshole here, but I just want to enjoy my honeymoon.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she's not allowed to tell my daughter what to do? Last weekend I went camping with one of my mates for 2 days and my girlfriend stayed home with my daughter. I knew my daughter was going to a party on Saturday and I already agreed to it. But when I came back from my camping trip, my daughter complained that my girlfriend told her she had to wash off her makeup and do one that's less provocative before she could leave the house. I got angry at my girlfriend and said she wasn't allowed to order my daughter around and she wasn't allowed to prevent her from doing anything I already agreed to. We had a huge fight and since then we barely talked. Am I wrong?